Welcome back to another prep series video for my natural bodybuilding prep. Today we will be recapping 7 weeks out and then setting the standards for 6 weeks out for my first show. Really excited. Do have some dates kind of narrowed in, got some flights booked. So next week we'll go over my full show schedule. But essentially first show will be on August 26th. And then final show targeting WNBF or INBF/WNBF Worlds in November 18th and 19th in Seattle. So super excited for that. A lot of just different odds and ends items things to cover. So if you guys have been going on to enjoy the playlist or are new to the channel, definitely subscribe for future content. And I'll throw that card up as always for the prep series videos if you need to get caught up. But first and foremost, gonna jump over to training. I know I have a handful of different training clips from a leg day that you guys will also get to see in a long form content video coming up. But not a whole lot to address on training. First week back from a deload. So just kind of figuring out numbers, adjusted reps and weights a little bit, which you guys will see on screen. If you guys have any questions regarding my training, definitely leave those down below in the comment section or anything up for discussion. Always happy to take your feedback as well. But training staying very much the same in terms of exercise selection, just changing some rep schemes here and there. That's all, but really the big focus for training is to keep intensity high, and then just as I'm getting lighter and unfortunately weaker, inevitably at a lighter body weight, not going to have the same output you did, especially eating less calories and whatnot, and fatigue just building. Just want to make sure I keep my execution in line, keep myself healthy, but keep a larger focus to going forward on the recovery side of training to make sure none of the little nags become actual injuries that affect the prep or anything like that. But nothing really changing, still on the push-pull lower cardio and arms type of day, more of an active recovery as I call it, and then finish out the week with an upper body and a lower body day. And that lower day 2 will be the day that you guys are seeing in that upcoming video. So super excited for that. But that kind of suits things for training and what I wanted to cover there. And then the meat of the video will come in terms of talking regarding nutrition and then activity as well as weights that we've seen in the last week. So first thing, in first adjustment, we will be dropping calories from right around that 2850 to 2900 to a 2650 to 2700 calorie range. And what that'll kind of look like is 240 grams of protein, 255 carbs, and roughly 75 fat. Those won't be perfect macros by any means. But kind of the reason for that change, as you guys can see on screen, the last 2 weeks, weight definitely went up when I was back in Wisconsin visiting family because I was a bit looser tracking, and can see my weight downtrending a bit, but just not at a rate that I would like to see, especially as we're kind of closing in those last handful of weeks of prep, and really the work has to be done within the next 5 weeks, just because we'll have the peak week, and that'll definitely be a week that we pull back in terms of restriction of nutrition, and then also with wanting to manage fatigue, make sure the physique gets peaked well, we'll bring back cardio and just activity as a whole. So I just want to make sure we can dig for these next couple of weeks by just creating a bit larger of a deficit. It'll be about another 1400 calorie deficit just in terms of nutrition. And then also it'll give me an opportunity to incorporate like refeed days, or higher carb days essentially, This will give me a good idea of how the body reacts to higher carbs. And then also, we'll get to see how the physique kind of reacts to everything digestion wise, and gives me a bit more flexibility depending on how fatigue is, or if for some reason, once we kind of get settled into those lower calories and I kind of realize that the rate of loss is a little bit too quick with that calorie adjustment, we can always incorporate some high days to bring the overall calorie intake for the week back up. But essentially, last week, and as you guys have probably seen by now, the macros were 246 protein, 295 carb, and 82 fat, coming in right at 2,896 calories. For the cardio, we'll be keeping it the exact same. We'll be doing 20 minutes incline treadmill at a 12.5 incline and 3 miles per hour. And that comes right out to that 200 calories per session, doing 7 sessions a week, coming out to that 1,400 calorie total. No, I have that marked as the averages section, but a bit easier for me to comprehend, like understanding wise, with keeping that as a total for the week, not an average. And then weight did come down, missing that one weigh-in day just due to travel, driving from Wisconsin back to Texas. So that really caps things out. And then in terms of activity and just making sure my output or expenditure in terms of like calories burned and whatnot is pretty consistent each day, we'll be targeting a 10,000 step count. It'd be pretty rigid with that, along with nutrition, as we come into these last handful of weeks of prep before the first show. And that really covers it in terms of the training, nutrition, activity, and whatnot. Hopefully you guys are seeing some posing on screen by now, but essentially beyond that, I definitely am starting to feel just the overall diet fatigue. And some days are better than others, in terms of like how we're feeling body wise, recovery wise, and whatnot. So that's why I really mentioned need to hone into recovery, keep everything as calm as possible, keep stress levels low. But super excited to keep pumping out some content for you guys. And hopefully you guys did go on to enjoy and found a lot of value in this video. And as I had mentioned, do have a full lower body day coming out. Would love to do another full day of eating now that we have that calorie adjustment, and kind of go through why I choose the meals I do. So be on the lookout for that. And then obviously announcing this show schedule is very exciting for sure. And then lastly, we'll cover like supplements and stuff in that nutrition video. But yeah, just a lot going on with prep. So just trying to keep stress as low as possible, keep us rolling good momentum wise, as we have been for the last like 23 or 24 weeks now. But with that being said, just thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of the video. Really do appreciate the ongoing support with this prep series. As always, leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel for future content. Stay fed and have a great rest of your day.